Hello, everybody. Today I'm talking about Venus in Capricorn. This is a very complex, complicated transit for Venus. Venus is going to be in Capricorn from 26th of February to 30th of March 2022. Venus is our feel-good factor. So when Venus feels under stress and is bombarded on both sides, then it can directly affect us. But of course, it rules our houses as well as our ascendants and moon sign. So we have to be conscious of this transit. Hello, I'm Komilla Sutton, and we are talking Venus in Capricorn. Do remember to subscribe, press the bell notification. Venus goes into Capricorn on 26th of February. And as it goes into Capricorn, it is accompanied almost immediately by Mars. So Venus, Mars that are in a planetary war since 11th of February don't give up that war. They continue in that war. And this is why, Venus is in between a rock and a hard place, because after it finishes its transit with Mars, Saturn is also in Capricorn. So it is going to start conjoining with Saturn, but before that, it's going to be stuck between Mars and Saturn. So a very complex transit. We have to be mindful. We have to take careful steps of how we deal with these times. And of course, if it is directly connected to your ascendant or moon sign, that is going to be more complex for you. So what happens to Venus on 26th of February is that it changes signs from Sagittarius, where it has had a long stay, into Capricorn. Mars also changes with it. Remember from my Mars-Venus video, I told you that Venus is traveling at half its speed. So it's going at the same speed as Mars. So it is not able to kind of separate from him. So both the planets, they move on the same day from Sagittarius to Capricorn, and they continue their planetary war till 12th of March. We can think, of course, after 12th of March, Venus is going to leave Mars and it is going to be free. However, Venus is in a Papakartari yoga. It's hemmed in between Mars and Saturn. So it's like a rock and a hard place. It can't move backwards or forwards. Two malefic planets that in Vedic astrology we regard as very fierce planets. Mars is behind it, Saturn is ahead of it. So this continues for Venus throughout its Capricorn transit. Normally, Venus in Capricorn is quite okay. It's in its friend sign. But this year, it is unusual circumstances. And Venus also represents relationships. It represents our feel-good factor. It's our comfort zone. And therefore, when it is in this very difficult position, we can feel it. And then on 28th of March, Venus has a conjunction with Saturn, and it's only after that that it goes the other side. And it's finally completed this conjunction, first with Mars, then with Saturn, and it is free to do its own thing. Of course, on 30th, Venus changes signs and it moves into Aquarius, and there it's moving towards its exaltation. So much easier energy for Venus later on in March, but this is the transit that we have to deal with. And therefore, being conscious of it, being aware of it, because Venus and Mars don't actually give each other space. So you can see this in a political life. They can be conflicts that are very difficult to separate. They can be, global crisis happening with this transit, also because this transit is coming with the Yuga Yoga. All planets gathering into two signs, and there's a new moon also there. So this month and a half is a little bit complex for all of us. So we have to take care and be conscious. Usually I find that during the time Venus is in some kind of trouble, the stock markets in the world also react to it, because Venus is the natural ruler of the second house. It represents the wealth of people, wealth of nations. But over the years, I found that always, obstacle will cause ups and downs, So be careful around this time for, investment, money as well. But generally, it is not the best time. So I myself also taking everything slowly and reacting to situations rather than creating some more for myself. And recognizing that these are very, very rare transits, because the Venus-Mars war for a month, the Yuga Yoga, all the planets gathering into signs, and then Venus going after the conjunction with Mars, being stuck between Mars and Saturn, and then conjoining with Saturn. And so therefore, the normal rules are not applying. And if we are aware of that and we are not making any major decisions and living a life of restraint, that is very important. Now, how does it affect you? Do check your ascendant or moon sign. Aries, of course, up to 11th of March, Venus is with Mars. So there's a planetary war going on. I'm going to make a separate video for Mars as well, so your viewpoint will be addressed there. But it is a conflicted situation. It's easy for you to get into some kind of argument or difficulty with partners, whether they are personal or business partners. So, be conscious about that. And then Venus going into Capricorn, it is in your 10th house. So that's a good position for generally for you. Lots of things happening professionally for you, but still in the back of your mind, you should think, okay, I should be restrained and see how things develop rather than be impulsive. Taurus, Venus is, of course, your ruling planet. So you are affected by it. Unnecessary, unexpected stuff can happen. You can feel very aggravated for no reason at all. And Capricorn is your 9th house. So 9th house is house of knowledge and study. And it may be a good idea to do something more kind of simple and study something, develop yourself. You feel very conflicted. And so this is not a good time to make any decisions. Take your time. After 30th of March, when Venus is out of all this, then make important decisions. Gemini, Venus is a good planet for you, but Capricorn is your 8th house. So you had so many 8th house transits. Your Saturn in the 8th house, Mercury has been in the 8th house. Now Mars, Venus both arrive in your 8th house of unsettled energy, change. It is sometimes hard to keep a balance or hard to do things that can have any unexpected consequences. So it may be best for you to wait till after this transit is over to make any decisions. Also, I feel that Mercury will go out of Capricorn early in March. And so you are yourself, you can be a witness to these things rather than totally involved in it. Mercury's also been in Capricorn for a long time. So everything seems like there's no clarity about the future. So let Mercury get out of this combination and you may get a clearer idea. Cancer, a lot of energy in your 7th house. Mars, Venus, Saturn, they're there. So I would say important to not get into conflict with your partners, or also to, stay calm with the situation. Venus rules money for you. It rules home for you. So those are the two areas also the conflict can be about: earnings, money, a home, sometimes something unexpected goes wrong at your home. So, get it fixed. Don't allow these energies to aggravate you. Leo, Venus deals with your career. It's the 10th house lord, and it is the 3rd house ruler, self-effort. So when Venus is in conflict, you may feel conflicted about professional choices. What do you want to do? What is your future about? And also the 3rd house, which is your self-effort. So you may feel that I must be doing something about it. This is very common when the planets are unsettled. Then instead of being restrained, we want to do something about things. And everything's happening in your 6th house of obstacles. So I would say that it is very important not to take any major decisions professionally. Don't force yourself to act. If something happens and you have to react to it, then you can decide what you want to do. Virgo, Capricorn is your 5th house of creativity, ideas. The two great power planets, Mars and Saturn there, and Venus is stuck between them. Normally, Venus in Capricorn giving you a lot of new ideas, a lot of things that you can develop, but Venus is being controlled by Mars and Saturn. So you can think that your ideas are not getting any traction, or it can be frustration, or like a writer's block in any other creative field. So as I said to everybody else also, to be just cautious and take your time, not rush into anything, and that would be the best. Libra, you're ruled by Venus. So this is a major transit for you. And you feel very stressed out. Venus is in the 4th house with the 4th lord, and with Mars, everything is aspecting your 10th house directly, which is career. 4th house is home, happiness, relationship with mother. But it's the main thing is this, that Venus is either your Lagna lord or moon lord. So therefore, you can feel very conflicted or irritated by things. Now, myself also, my moon is in Libra. And what I'm finding is that since the Mars-Venus planetary war has started, there's just lots of irritating things happening. Like there's people playing loud music, and then there are workers working with all sorts of, big machinery, and it's just irritating. So I have to say, oh yeah, this Mars-Venus is on. I have to stay calm and try to find the middle path. So sometimes it's not that easy, but you know that this transit is taking place, so you can know that it is easy to get aggravated, and it's easy to be irritable or impulsive. So be extra cautious about that. Scorpio, this Capricorn is your 3rd house, and therefore 3rd house is your self-effort. And Mars has moved into the 3rd house. Venus is there, Saturn is there. So normally, 3rd house, Mars, Saturn transiting 3rd house is quite good because it's pushing you to do things. But all these things together, this is what is difficult. And therefore, they can be very frustrating. And, there can be also some obstacles regarding relationships, because Venus rules relationships for you. Also 12th house, money, expenses. So you are being extra mindful of all these things and not pushing ahead with any new agendas. Sagittarius, Jupiter, your ruling planet, is out of this. So you are more of a spectator rather than experiencing everything. However, this drama is taking place in your 2nd house. Venus with Mars and Saturn are in the 2nd house of saving. It's also the house of speech. So be careful what you say. You may be very harsh, not your usual self, and say something that can upset people. And also, be a witness to the thing. So try to detach not to make any unforeseen errors. I think that's what we are trying to manage during this time. Capricorn, of course, all this drama. Venus is in Capricorn, Mars is in Capricorn, Saturn has been in Capricorn for ages. I think normally Venus coming to Capricorn is a lovely time for you. But as it is coming with accompanying Mars, it's bringing issues with it. Mars rules your 11th house of money. Mars rules 4th house of home. And Mars is generally an impulsive planet. Capricorn is more restrained and wants to think things through and slow it to act. So slow to act is better for you just now. And normally Venus-Saturn conjunction would create a Raja Yoga for you because Venus is your best planet. And so maybe the 28th is not so bad for you when Venus gives some soft, loving, good energy for you. However, just these are odd times, unusual times that it is best to watch out for them. Aquarius, Venus, Mars, 12th house. Venus is traveling your 12th house. Now, Venus is a great planet for you, but 12th house is the house of loss. It's the house of expenses. It's house of foreign countries. Gathering of 3 planets or more in your 12th house, moon will be going there as well. It is important that you are being very tight with your finances and not taking too many risks, just being careful about things. And, Saturn is also there. And I think because Jupiter is in your ascendant or moon sign, you feel quite good, you can ignore these problems because you are feeling quite good. Venus is there in the 12th. So it's encouraging you to spend. But Jupiter in the ascendant or next to your moon is making you feel a little bit protected, but also sometimes taking a bigger risk because you think, oh, that doesn't matter. So I would say still a little bit of restraint is important. Pisces, this is Capricorn is your 12th house. Venus is not your best planet. And therefore, it's not that significant a transit for you. However, it's, packed into the 11th house, which is house of earnings. So any decision you want to make about earnings, I would say wait till Jupiter goes into Pisces, which I've been telling you before as well, which is April. But also 11th house is house of Sangha, of good company. So sometimes there can be disagreement, dispute with companies, with your friends or your groups. And I would say to keep that at minimum. And regarding your earnings, then any decision delay it so that would be best. So that is it for today. Thank you very much. All the best. Do remember to subscribe.